Hi, my name is Derek Murphy. I've run creativity.com and a few publishing related websites, and I'm going to talk about how to market young adult fiction. It's kind of interesting. The last 5 or 10 years, I've been a book cover designer. I started a book editing company. I'm also working on my PhD in literature, but I really want to write fiction. I want to be a fiction writer. And so for the past year, I've been writing fiction, learning how to write, publishing. Next week, I'm going to publish my first novel, and this year I plan to publish 10 short novels and build my young adult author platform. But I do have a great deal of experience in getting website traffic, SEO, building platforms, ranking, and a lot of other things that young adult authors really aren't considering yet. And it's difficult. People say that the young adult genre is harder to market to because you're basically marketing to teenagers, which can be kind of a weird thing. But there are ways to when you're marketing any kind of book. Basically, you just have to have either your website or your Amazon page has to show up when people are looking for you, and so you need to focus on regular SEO, link building strategies to get your site to rank. The problem is your small website that you just started that probably doesn't have a lot of content, and probably doesn't have a lot of specific keyword rich content because you aren't building your website the right way. You're competing against thousands of other young adult book blogs or young adult authors, and people aren't searching for your book or your name. Um, so the only way that they're ever going to find your book is that if your book shows up on somebody else's blog, or if you show up high on Amazon rankings, and you only do that if you're selling a lot of books. And even then, young adult readers don't necessarily buy the books on Amazon because they've got to be a little choosier with their money. So if they buy books, they're probably going to buy mainstream best-selling books that they've heard of before, rather than take a chance on something new. So even if you were selling, I mean, it's possible if you were selling really well and you had a low price point, like 99 cents, you might make some sales and things would catch on. But if you're writing young adult fiction, what you really have to focus on is getting your book on those platforms where young adult readers are getting their book recommendations. A lot of times that's booktubers. Booktubers are people on YouTube who review young adult books. It's kind of a new thing in the last, I don't know, 4 years maybe. Um, it's kind of like a book reviewer, but they're just on YouTube talking about the books that they like. There's a lot of them, and some of them have huge platforms, and it's most of them only review traditionally published books. They might review your self-published book, but it would have to look really good. The cover would have to be really good. It would already have to get a lot of reviews. Marketing any kind of book is there's still kind of a basic thing. Like unless you have a really good cover and a lot of reviews, um, you're not going to get anybody else engaged with it. So you can't go out and ask someone to help you market your book if they look at the Amazon page and it's an ugly cover, it doesn't have any reviews. I've got a lot of other websites and videos about all this stuff, but I'm making this video for you because I'm a young adult author. I've been building platforms to bring young adult reader traffic, specifically to help me sell my books, but I also want to share it with other young adult authors who need help with visibility. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate to sales, but basically I have a web of websites that are pretty strong and that I'm building with a lot of link building strategies and do get better traffic, so that if you post content on one of my websites, it will rank much better and get more views than it would if you post content on your own website. And you should do a little bit of both, because if you post on my website and get links back to your site, it'll bring your blog up in the search ranking. And you should do that to a lot of, like, that's what guest posting basically is putting content on other people's sites to get links back to your site. I will be talking a lot about the things I'm doing to build my platform and sell books, but I'll also be offering other young adult authors, on the one hand, support, because I'm going to start a Facebook group so you can ask questions and get answers. Also, I have a lot of free references and tutorials and videos and stuff that I've been making that I can direct you to. And finally, it's easier for a bunch of people to make a hub or a group website. So instead of us all having individual author websites, if we all post content on one website and get a lot of content quickly that's all about young adult books or book writing or book publishing or book reviews, it's much easier to get that one blog with a lot of content to rank very quickly on Google, so that when people are searching Google right now, like they may find Epic Reads is one of the major ones. Each major publisher has its own kind of young adult teen blog and book site, and they rank really, really well because they have a lot of money and they advertise and they have a lot of great content. It's much harder for self-publishing young adult authors to get that kind of traffic unless we work together and build kind of a hub with more content, which is what I want to try to do. And I mean, my sites are already doing pretty well, but I'll invite you to join this Young Adult Author Alliance I'm starting, just because it's difficult to market yourself if you're doing it independently. Even if for nothing else, if you can just connect with other young adult authors in your genre to cross-promote or to do group promotions or to review each other's books, that will be extremely valuable for you, and I want to help to make those connections happen. If you have any questions, you can just email me or join the Facebook group or get in touch. I don't have a lot of time to work with authors one-on-one, but I have been putting out a lot of resources you can get into. And if you post content, or if you have questions and you need feedback on something on the Facebook page, there's a lot of other young adult authors who have more experience. And I want this to be kind of a place where you can help each other get feedback, solve problems. Publishing is tricky and book marketing is tricky. It's exciting, but difficult to reach young adult readers. But it can also be, if you have a really good story, it can be tremendously rewarding and also profitable to publish young adult fiction. And I want to help you to see some of those results. Thanks. Bye-bye.